Hello. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Jenavation. This show is about keeping our community together. It's about having honest conversations on what is affecting us, such as relationship issues, sex, racism, politics, and so much more. So grab your coffee and join the conversation. Make sure you click that subscribe button, like, and share on all of your platforms, as far as Spotify and YouTube, iHeartRadio. Share on your Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Let's go. Alrighty then. This is part two for our domestic violence episode. We did part one last week. We talked about about the men being violent towards the women, especially black men and black women. This week we're going to kind of touch on the other side of it with the women towards the men, because it does work both ways. We mostly don't talk about the women being violent in the relationships, but it does happen, and it's need to be talked about. But before we get into it, I kind of want to brush up on a few things. I want to talk about numbers, the stats, as far as black women and black men, Latinx community as well, as far as the numbers is concerned with domestic violence. 1 in 4 black women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. 1 in 7 black men will experience severe physical violence by an intimate partner. 44% of black women have experienced intimate partner violence. Black women are 2.5 times more likely to be unalived by men than white women, with 92% of these committed by someone they know. 1 in 3 Latinx women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. 1 in 10 Latinx men report experience intimate partner violence. Nearly 50% of Latinas are experiencing domestic violence, never sought formal help. And those are some of the numbers within our communities. I seen a post recently talking about, with a question that says, "Why doesn't she leave?" I don't want to just talk about why doesn't the woman leave. Again, women are the ones that we talk mostly about when it comes to domestic violence, the ones that's being be the victim, I shall say. So instead of saying she, I want to say they, because it's both women and men that deal with domestic violence. So why doesn't they leave? And some people have wrote, because they think that if they just try a little harder, and if they and that if they're a better wife or husband, better mother, that maybe, or father, that maybe he will be happy with her and he. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to read it the way it's written, okay? But I really want to try to generalize it, okay? Why doesn't she leave? Because she thinks that if she tries a little harder, and if she's a better wife and a better mother, that maybe he will be happy with her. And he wouldn't have to get angry with her, and he will be the same sweet, charming man that he was when she first met him. As far as the women, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same when it comes to men. Another comment was made, because he has her convinced that if she tries, he will hurt or kill her or her family. because he has threatened to tell the judge that she is a bad mother and will take away her children and she'll never see them again. Because he has taken away her money and convinced her that she has no good job qualities to make it on her own financially and will always need him. And this is also vice versa. A lot of you women probably won't even agree with me when I say it's vice versa. Do we or do we not, as women, not all, but some of us, we throw the child support system in their face, in the man's face? Do we not use the children as weapons against the fathers? Do we not talk to these men in violent ways? Do we not? Because we rarely hear about them being physical, about us being physical. We mostly are verbal. We're verbally violent towards men. And the men are speaking up about this. And of course, we as women don't like it. We want to be like, well, it's because, or because you don't do this, or because you don't do that. So let's really have a conversation about this. Let's really talk about it. We as women, we grew up, probably chances are no father in the home, so we don't really know how to talk to a man. Or maybe there was a father in the home and we've seen our mother treat our fathers a certain type of way, so we think that's okay when we grow up, when we get a husband, that's how we're supposed to talk to them. And again, it's not all of us. It's some of us, but it's not all of us. Domestic violence isn't just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's sexual, it's verbal. So it does go both ways. Again, we rarely talk about the women side, how the women act, how the women treat men, especially in our community. We don't talk about it much. We want to play the victim, and the men are considered the monster all the time. It's not always the case. Who does the police lock up when they come to the house when there's an incident? The man. Who does people attack when we're all over social media putting our business out there? The man, right? Now that doesn't excuse what men do. It's just that, again, it goes both ways. It's a two-way street, and once we really accept that and make some changes, it's going to keep on continuing. Black men will always be considered a monster as long as we keep letting this happen. I want to read a quote. If you cut your chains, you free yourself. If you cut your roots, you die. It's an African proverb. Where do we learn this behavior? Everything starts at home. A lot of people say everything starts at home. What was your childhood like? What was your home like? What was your parents like? What did they teach you? Or did you have both parents in the house? Did they love each other? Did they respect each other? Did they treat each other like they was nothing? Each other was nothing. Was there a lot of arguing in the house? Back then, parents used to say, what happens in this house, stay in this house. But we're in the age of social media where we put everything out there. And we think it's cute that we put it out there. A lot of the stuff that we put out there, a lot of people think it's funny. A lot of it's not. We don't really take anything serious because we sure keep making these memes about Diddy, aren't we? I didn't want to bring him up, but we're going to have to because we did see a video where he stomped a woman out in a hotel on the floor by an elevator. Domestic violence. And now he's in a whole lot of other trouble doing some other stuff. But we don't never take anything seriously. That's why we don't never talk about everything. We talk about part of the stuff. That's why we only talk about how the men are violent. We never talk about the women being violent. And I think it's because really, again, women don't really be physical all like that. If they are, we don't see it. but they're mostly violent with their mouth, and they're verbally abusive, and men are sick of it. We as women should be sick of it too. Like, why do we talk to each other any kind of way? Enough is enough. But then you do have those people that you kind of, some people do make you, I'm going to be real, some people do make you want to go that route with them because they don't listen, right? Everybody's human. No one's perfect. You're going to have your moments. But there's supposed to be moments, not a lifetime. That's not supposed to be your lifestyle. You know? No one wants to be in a toxic situation. That goes with anybody. That's not just relationships. That's with your family too. That's with your co-workers. That's with your friends. No one wants to deal with that. Peace. Everybody wants peace. No one wants chaos. No one wants chaos. Domestic violence affects millions in Black and Latinx communities every year, yet it's often hidden in silence. It's not just physical, it can be emotional, financial, psychological. It impacts our mental, emotional, and physical health, our families, and our communities. It's time to break the silence. So, as we go into our Black business highlights, I want you all to think about that loved one who is in this situation. And I want you to say a silent prayer for them. Because let's be honest, we want to help these people, but can't really help someone who doesn't want it. You know, they will have to want it for us to really help. So if you can't, if you're in a situation where you want to help someone, but you know you can't because they won't let you, just say a prayer for them. And we'll be right back.
Powered by Riverside.
Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Jenavation. This show is about keeping our community together. It's about having honest conversations on what is affecting us, such as relationship issues, sex, relationships, love, marriage, parenthood, racism, politics, and so much more. So grab your coffee and join in the conversation. We're not only here to discuss these issues, but to also find solutions. But first, poetry. Hey, yo, what's up? What's up? This is Black Business Highlights. Here, we are here to highlight a few Black businesses right here on the podcast. So if you have a Black business such as a clothing line, new music, new books, new show or podcast, self-care products, etc., you can hit us up by emailing us at jenavation@gmail.com. It will be right here in the link and underneath this episode. All you got to do is hit us up. Make sure you put in the subject line BBH request. That will be the Black Business Hotline request. And we will shout your business out. Make sure you have your name, the business name, phone number, social media platforms, and website. We are all about growing together personally and professionally. So hit us up right here on Black Business Highlights on the podcast. Hey y'all, check out our website and or download the app and become a member for exclusive content at www.thegeneravationnetwork.com. We have the Jenavation Book Club where we meet up every Saturday for our weekly discussions on the latest book club selection. We have a poet support community group where we provide poetry prompts, poetry history, affirmations for poets who are struggling personally and professionally. Side note, if you feel you need a more intimate and personal one-on-one affirmation without the group, you can join us on WhatsApp. Info link in bio. Check out our poetry blog and get yourself a book of poetry. I have several on the site right now. All you have to do is click on the link to make a purchase. New book coming soon. Online store with coffee mugs, t-shirts, backpacks is also open for business. So get yourself or a loved one something you think they will like. We have a variety to choose from. Make sure you also sign up for our weekly newsletter to get exclusive updates on what we're doing at the JenavationNetwork.com website and app. Do you want to do more with your poetry? Like start a poetry business, uh, but you have no idea how to start? Well, I have a solution for you. The Jenavation Network has teamed up with the Poet Life and joined their community at poetrybusinessnetwork.com. Come join us to get all of the exclusive information you need to start a business with your poetry. There are live courses, poetry business workbooks and journals, one-on-one coaching and training, spoken word gig opportunities, and while you're at it, you can get yourself some dope poet life gear to represent yourself in style while you do it. For more information, go to poetrybusinessnetwork.com and become part of the Poet Life family, along with the Jenavation Network. See you there. Hey, what's up, y'all? Do y'all need a platform where you need to network with other Black businesses? Well, I have an opportunity for you. All you gotta do is go to www.forbesblk.com, a platform and community that amplifies the voices of Black entrepreneurs, professionals, leaders, and creators. Their community of exceptional leaders of color are breaking down barriers, creating more equitable economies and driving a new culture of connection, collaboration, and change. All you gotta do again is to go to www.forbesblk.com and become a certified member where you can connect with all kinds of Black businesses, Black business owners, again, creators, leaders, professionals, entrepreneurs, just like yourself. I guarantee you, you will not regret it. This will be a wonderful opportunity for you and your business. So go to www.forbesblk.com. With us, I want to start with one of the major things going on, which is the and we are back. That was our Black Business Highlights. If you want your Black Business highlighted on the show, all you got to do is hit me up at my email at jenavation@gmail.com or hit me up in the DMs on my IG at Jenavation. Links will be in the description underneath this episode on Spotify and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and like and share. and we are talking about domestic violence. This is part 2 of this episode, bouncing off of the episode we did last week. We're talking about the women being violent in this part 2. But before we get back into the subject, I want to give you a couple of phone numbers that you can call if you are in a situation and you need some help. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. That is 1-800-799-7233. I was looking for the poem by June Jordan, and I can't find it. So it was about domestic violence. She has a few, but there was one particular one I wanted to read. I apologize for my silence. I'm looking for this piece. It's interesting because I had it and now I can't find it. Or if I do it like this, because I heard this piece actually, remember the show A Different World? And there was an episode about domestic violence. And I believe the episode was called Love Taps. And she recited this piece. If I could find where she read or recited this piece. Give me one moment. While you wait for a moment, I'm really giving you a moment to think about some stuff. Wow, I really can't find it. And I believe the poem is by June Jordan. As soon as I find it. Well, anyways, while I look for it, we can go ahead and just talk. So again, talking about the women this time. How the women are verbally abusive, and men are sick of it. I'm sick of it myself. I'm so sick and tired of hearing women talking to men any kind of way. I'm sick of men talking to women any kind of way. This is really ridiculous. There should be no reason for us to talk to each other in such a manner. If we got a problem, we should be able to sit and talk like adults, putting our hands on each other, talking to each other in kind of way, taking guns out and shooting each other, setting each other on fire, which is what we talked about last week. You know, it's that's a mental health problem. That's a problem. It's a catastrophe. We're losing each other and ourselves. We're losing people we love, family members, friends, all because of domestic violence. I shouldn't see my sister walking around with black eyes, walking around with sunglasses trying to hide it. I shouldn't see our brothers walking around with their heads down, can't hold their head up because they got a woman at home that talk to them any kind of way. You keep your hands to yourself. Remember, our parents used to tell us that keep your hands to yourself. Stop putting your hands on people. The only reason you should be putting your hands on anybody is if you are literally defending yourself. If you're not defending yourself, keep your hands to yourself. Mm-hmm. I found it. Okay. I want to hear about how. Okay, I'm gonna play it if it plays, and then we'll go from there. This is the clip from A Different World called Love Taps, and she recited this poem. Hopefully you can hear it. Brother, I don't want to hear about how my real enemy is the system. I'm no genius, but I do know that the system you hit me with is called a fist. Stay strong, my sisters. Peace. I'm actually going to play it again because, it's some real shit. Brother, I don't want to hear about how my real enemy is the system. I'm no genius, but I do know that the system you hit me with is called a fist. Stay strong, my sisters. Peace. Yeah, and that goes for the brothers too. Keep your hands to yourself. We don't need the extra stuff. We're already arguing like crazy. We don't need to have our hands in it. Keep your hands down. Put your hands in your pocket. If it has to go that far, the way you putting your hands on someone, then leave that situation. Just leave. You don't need to be together. It shouldn't even have to go that far. Sad thing is we are fighting over stupid stuff. We ain't supposed to be fighting each other. We're supposed to be fighting the enemy that's outside of our houses, not each other. I had another quote for you. I want you to go in the comments. Let me know what you think about women and domestic violence. Do you think that we don't talk about the women's side, what women do as far as this subject is concerned enough? And do we need to shine a light more often on it? Because it does happen. Like I said last week, we talk about the men. That's the easiest one to talk about because that's all we hear about. We only hear about the men. This is why I did a part 2, because there's two sides to a story. Just because there's two sides to a story doesn't mean one of them is right, one is wrong. Sometimes both are wrong. And we need to come together and figure out how to fix this issue, how to make things right. And part of it is to keep your hands to yourself and put the guns down. Guns are supposed to be for protection, not offending anyone. Give me a moment, everyone. And it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm having this episode. But let's not just use this month to talk about it. Let's use every day of the year to talk about it. It only goes away if you stop talking about it. So, okay, I can't even find another quote. Well, anyways, let's just move on. Yeah, so keep your hands to yourself. Let's figure out another way to deal with our issues, and let's do it together. Let's not divide. They want us to be divided so bad. That's why they turned us into savages. They turned us into savages. We were not born this way. We were groomed this way. There's a difference. There's a difference. And again, I'll give you the phone number again if you know anybody, or if for yourself or for someone else. Give them this phone number, no matter where you are in the world, because there is someone out there in the world that's dealing with domestic violence right now. And this is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can call 1-800-799-7233. That is 1-800-799-7233. Call that number. If you can't get through, keep calling, or find the closest shelter, homeless shelter you can get to. There's plenty of them for women, for men. There's some for children. Get out before it's too late. Don't want to end up in a grave somewhere because of someone else's hands.